Hey guys, Israel Salom here. Um, so I just wanted to make a quick video again of this is actually a really kind of important video. So I'm basically gonna outline my um, I don't know, like basically like I'm trying to get you guys to understand what you're up against when you're going to day trading. Okay, like it's an exciting career, exciting side hobby, but is it realistic? And that's the scope of this video. So I'm gonna show you what you're having to like compete against, I guess, or like have to like understand and stuff. So here is a typical list of a search engine of like, the YouTube search engine of like, what people are doing, what the people that are saying that they're making money, like this guy right here, like Warrior Trading. You go in here.
All right, everyone.
All
Well,
right, let's look at his account. All right, it's a lot of videos on how to make all this money. Um, it's just an example. Like an example of like somebody a little bit more high speed than him would be like this guy, right? Which my friend was saying that he looks at his stuff, and you got a chart. This is typical representation of the industry. Is that you got a price chart with a bunch of moving averages and like a lot of MACDs and oscillators and stuff. All right, like the scope of this video is to show you that it's not a good idea to do this stuff. Okay, I mean it might look fancy, but it's not. It doesn't make sense. So a better way to do it, and then once you do it, you're going to realize that day trading is actually really hard. Um, is to basically like build a database of this stuff. So all of this information is mathematical based. All right, they're deriving the indicators, all these lines and stuff are derived from the price history. So the open, high, low, close of the prices on a given time frame, and then you can add in some other indicators like volume, which is the only typical one besides that. But there's others like I don't know, market capitalization of the stock on that day. Also, um, indicators from their financial statements. So that's typically like that's all the information that we have. Okay, you can also do sentiment analysis where you like get like likes and dislikes on YouTube videos based off of news that each company is related to. That's beyond my ability, but it falls under the same category. And even that is going to, you know, not work in the future. Like, and I'll show you why. So this is like a basic spreadsheet. They got the information for options chains. So if you can find this data also for options, you can do the same kind of stuff I'm about to get into. So on my journey, I was suicidal and I asked God for advice, basically, and on how to do this because I was doing the same thing that they were doing, and I lost a lot of money and on a risky bet. And basically, what I was doing was I was going through FinViz, it's financial visualizations, and they're like probably the best forecaster on the or the best stock screener on the market, right? And every day I would, you know, religiously, like studiously, or whatever you want to call it, like, um, gather up the data of, you know, all the information that they had. So I'd export all their data every day because they didn't offer it for any other day than the current day because it's a screener. So they're only going to screen the stocks at any given moment on for a day. And so once the next day happens, all the data is gone and you can't get it anymore. So I basically was copying and pasting all these, all these tickers symbols and all the data associated with them into a spreadsheet that I was making on my phone at the time, um, and then pasting it into the next day. So you got the previous day here. So I like BIDU is there, and this last column. All right, and like BDIU is right here. So it's the previous day's information and the next day's information. And so you can make a screener. And so on this one, it's all so far 1 through negative 138% down. So that's what that means. And then you can get a plan. So this right here is the change column. So on the next day, if it was down 1% or higher, you can on average make 1% a day, just buying all the stocks that were down 1% a day, and then holding them until the end of the day, the next day, and then selling everything and buying all the stocks that were down 1% that day, and then doing that pattern, definitely you'll make 1% a day, you'll be rich, right? And so I ended up, it's not feasible to do that every day, because there's so many stocks to buy, and unless you have an algorithm that can buy it all, you can't do that strategy. And we'll get into if that's even a good strategy or not later. But basically, you're gonna have to start to find like the best three. Like the most highest probability three of for the day, and kind of divide your money up into three and buy the best three most highest probability statistical bets. Because you have a database here that's 13,000, basically 14,000 trades, okay, of the down days, and then the up days it goes the same way. So this was the change the next day for the ones that were also far that I gathered that were between 1 and 138% up that day. And if you bought a stock that's up at the end of the day and held it to the end of the next day, you're on average going to make negative 46%. All right. So again, bro, you can just short all the stocks that are up and buy all the stocks that are down, and then hold it the next day through the next day, and then repeat the cycle. And that's probably a good strategy. That's probably what a lot of people are doing, but it's not feasible for the average person to do that every day, because that's a lot of time and putting the orders manually. You have to figure out how to get a robot to do it for you. And whether that strategy will work over long term, we don't know. So I was able to build this one. All right, this is a much more advanced one. I was praying to God, and I lost a lot of money on a bet. I was praying to God. I was mad, suicidal. Anyway, I had a light bulb moment. No joke, bro. I had a light bulb moment, and basically, it was revealed to me an idea. All right, what if I got all the data on Yahoo Finance and calculated the indicators myself? I don't have to go off of financial visualizations indicators or even Yahoo Finance's indicators. I can build my own custom indicators across all the stock history that Yahoo Finance offers, which they have the most that I found for just regular stocks. And this right here, this 1 through 800, is basically the market cap. So I was able to use exported all the data from FinViz one day, and this was back in 2017. And I was able to just sort them by market cap, and I got the number one being like, Amazon or Apple or whatever, and number 800 being like one of the bigger, one of the lesser companies in the Russell 1000, basically. And so this has changed now. It's 2021 now, so it's going to be different, but it's probably going to be like similar. So the only disadvantage of this strategy is that it didn't incorporate market cap into the database. So it's all based off of old market cap data from 2017, and that inherently gives it survivorship bias on all the stocks that you're picking. Even if you look back 20 years, where you're going to know that these are the stocks that survived and did really well over those 20 years. So the only downside to this is I didn't build the market cap indicator into it. I wasn't able to pull that data with the method I'm going to show you, but it's not a bad method for day trading. You don't need that to like get a consistent pattern. I guess it would help, bro. And you're going to have to get that to really do it full. Like as a professional, you would need that information. But this right here is all the stocks that are like medium sized, large and medium sized, and they on average made 0.032% a day. All right. These are all the stocks that are like penny stocks. Okay. Their dollar volume is really low. It's on average $200,000 a day for each day. So you're going to have trouble getting a fill if you have a lot of money doing this. And it on average makes 0.04% a day. So let's go back to the big ones. They on average made 0.03% a day. So you'd be like, oh, okay, well, I'll just focus on the lower cap stocks and just buy them every day, and I'm going to make a little bit more money than I would. We'll get into why that's a bad idea. And I mean, this is all really subjective, and you're going to have to backtest any strategy anybody says. But you can actually come into here, all right, find let's just say it went up uh, on the day. It went up. Let's see, sort smallest. It's a really big file, and it takes a long time to update it in Excel. I couldn't figure out how to do the pivot tables. I didn't need to really because I can split the data up into multiple sheets and see it like this. But it just the downside to that is it just takes a long time to load any changes that you make to the file. But while it's loading, get my thoughts together. Um, but basically, like you can make a filter. So these are all the stocks that were above 50% that were in the top 1 to 800 market cap back in 2017. And so knowing that, you can come in here and you can see that buying and holding those stocks that were up 50% on the day. So let's say Apple does really good in one day. Is that a good? Is it a good idea to buy it at the end of the day, thinking that it'll go up the next day? So like follow the trend strategy, or it's a crypto and it's mooning. Is it a good idea to buy it at the end of the day after a mooning and expect it to go up the next day? And so we can see that on average, it goes down the next day a lot. But this is not a high sample size. It rarely happens where a stock goes up 50%. Okay. But you can start to get more informed on your decisions with this kind of, software or application or whatever you did it. Now I'm going to get into how I built it right now. So moving over to base, I'm going to just straight up show you. So you come in here, and this guy right here, Marcelo Perlin, not him, him, Marcelo Perlin, he's got a PhD in finance from a university in Brazil. Okay, he made batch get symbols. Okay, batch get symbols is a statistical software that this guy made for the stock market, and it basically takes the quant mod in RStudio and makes it way better. Okay, so you can download it from a CRAN repository. It's an RStudio repository, but basically, like, he gives you the keys to this kingdom. Okay, because I couldn't have done it by myself. I will say that it's all based off of his work. I couldn't figure out how to use QuantMod and do the same thing because they don't clean the data. So this guy gives you the ability with this code right here in RStudio. You can pull the stock history of like all the tickers you have that are in Yahoo Finance, and I had 7,366 that FinViz was able to give me. And then you can do a look back period. So I'd had a look back period of 11,322 days, which is basically I can't remember, but it's basically like 15 years, maybe 20 years, maybe even 30. I don't know. I can't remember. You'd have to divide this number up by okay, 1,825 is a year. There's actually 252 trading days in a year, but you get the idea. You can convert this number. Whoa. I'm sorry. This is considering that there's 252 trading days. So this period does account for the weekend. So it actually is good. And you can just test it out by gathering the data and exporting it to Excel and seeing what days it's showing up and figuring that out. And then you just, when you run this code, it keeps it in RStudio. But when you run this code, it exports the data as different CSV files for each stock, and then exports it to a folder that you set the directory to. So in this case, I titled it RSpace. All right. And that's just a short one. So you can just do 10 stocks if you want to. You can do any ones you want. But that's like all of them. This one is all of them. So then once you get it into a file, all right, then you run this code right here in VBA. So you open up Excel and you run this code, all right, and it basically gives you all this information. So you can get anything you can program, any mathematical model you can program with you know Excel. Once you have the Excel skills and set it up, you can basically make a forecaster. And so you can start to combine different strategies together and build the forecaster, and you can test it out and see what it actually returns. uh, and basically, like, this is the stuff right here. um, I can just kind of go down it real quickly, and you can write it on your own to try to understand it. It took a long time for me to set it up. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I had to do a lot of research. I didn't know any of this stuff. I was just piecing it together off the internet. Uh, but I mean, it worked out for me. All right, that's one of them. And I don't remember what all this stuff does. I ran it and it works. But basically, like, I'll just go down this again and see if you can remember any kind of patterns here, because I honestly, it's been years since I worked on this, and I forgot basically a lot of it. I'm not gonna lie, like the memory. I don't remember how I actually like wrote all this like out. I just went into like a I don't know, like a savant period where I just was only focused on this, and I would work on it every night and just try to figure out how to do it. Um, uh, but I mean, to get you guys to have this, it's not really the scope of this video. It's just kind of showing you that it can be done, and that once you have it, um, I mean, once you have it, there's really not a whole lot of strategies. I mean, I was able to find this strategy, which gave a -2% um, a day, and I mean, as you can see, there's a lot of red, um, and as you get up here, there's a lot more red, but your sample size gets lower. And so if you're trying to short, this was a good strategy up here. Um, and as you notice that there are, clusters of green and stuff, so you can make a strategy that has like a sinusoidal model. But, the goal is to get a best fit model for all this stuff. Okay. So I had, let's see. All right. So this was a 15-year look back, and it basically set it up to give you a 15-year look back with the code. This was the code. I can just copy and paste it into RStudio. It's the same thing. That's the code for RStudio 2 to get the CSV files. This is the ticker list I have, and it's 7,366. You go down here, 7,366. So, I mean, this stuff is pretty good. I mean, it's pretty high speed. But basically, once you get a good strategy, this is what you have left to do. Like, let's say you find the miracle strategy that I couldn't find, and I tried everything I could think of to find a good strategy that would be reliable to day trade or short-term trade, swing trade, whatever. But basically, you would just set it up to do all this stuff automatically every single day. So you just wake up, open up your computer, or have it set to run a program at a certain time, and it would, download the previous day's data from Yahoo Finance and run it through the RStudio, run it through Excel, and then it would have another script that basically runs all your filters and stuff for your strategy, and then shoots you an email of the stocks that fit your strategy, and then you can manually buy them if you don't know how to program a bot to manually buy it for you or to automatically buy it for you. And so you can then, just have to input like a few orders, in the morning when you wake up, and then you can just go to work and work your regular 9 to 5, and you don't even have to, day trade at all, bro. You can just spend like 5 minutes a day putting the orders in, and sell it at the end of the day, and then do that every day. You know what I mean? And you don't have to worry about anything. And then in a few years, you'll be able to just sit back and trade for a living. That's the idea. But doing it, you need basically a PhD in mathematics and data science. Also, artificial intelligence. Sorry, I can't spell intelligence, but you get the idea. You basically need to focus on these three things for you to be able to do this, okay? And after you unlock all these this knowledge, then you can actually be a professional day trader, okay? So do not fall into the trap of these guys. None of them are going to show you what I just showed you, okay? And I would have never thought to do this unless God gave me an idea, a light bulb moment, and I wouldn't have been able to even do this stuff unless Marcelo Perlin had launched this batch get symbols, dude. Because and he launched it like you know just like a few months before I had the idea, and so I mean, thinking about that, bro, and this is what the professionals are doing that are doing this for a living. They have all this stuff. Uh, do not day trade. Like just long term invest in crypto, and you don't have to worry about any of this stuff. And then you can go and basically, get into stuff like, you know, uh, work. You know what I'm saying? Working is fun, guys. Like, work on the stuff you want to do, bro. Nobody really wants to day trade at all. Like we shouldn't have to. Work on stuff that God has called you to work on. Whether that's evangelism, whether that's running a business, or whether that's helping people run their own businesses, or research and development, medicine, robots, making better, solutions to our future energy problems, all that stuff, like work on stuff that's actually valuable to society instead of spending all your free time like I did trying to learn how to day trade, because I could have spent 100 years doing it the way I was doing it, and I'd have never been successful at it, and it wasn't my idea to do this stuff. It was God, and He showed me that it's worthless, bro. So don't be stupid. Listen to the advice. Listen to the PhDs that know what they're doing, and do what they tell you to do. I mean, really, like, it's not as simple as that, but it's almost as simple as that. Okay, it's simple instructions. Okay, like I'm not trying to be rude, but I mean, and I'm only in this position like because God showed me that this is what it means. So let's just not focus on getting rich quick. Let's focus on gaining knowledge to make ourselves useful to society. Okay, because day trading is not really useful to society. I mean, it really not. All right, well, I'm gonna close out this video. I don't want to make it super long. Well, thanks and God bless. Israel Saloma.